Hey everyone, it's Doug Green, and I'm the publisher of Technology Reseller News. And I'm very pleased to have with me today Julia Evans, who's the Group Operations Director at TXO. Julia, thank you for joining me today.
Hi, Doug. Thank you so much for having me.
Well, what caught my attention is your PR team talked to us about a carbon calculator, TXO's new carbon calculator, developed in partnership with the Carbon Trust. That's what we're going to be talking about, and some other things today. But Julia, first, what is TXO?
So TXO is a global full life technology life cycle partner. So what does that mean in sort of layman's speech? Well, basically, we're a telecommunications company that can help our partners decommission their networks. We can resell, we can refurbish, and we can recycle their equipment. We can also we look after it for them, spare parts management, and we can repair. So that truly are a circular economy company, and trying to extend the life of those assets.
And now more than ever, right, with the digital transformation that's happening, the continuing move to the cloud and so on, I imagine there's a lot of equipment that needs to be removed properly and decommissioned.
Huge amount. And the legislation around removing that equipment and making sure it's either disposed of correctly or reused correctly is huge. You need to be a specialist in this area, and we've been doing it for decades now. So like I say, we're truly global, presence in nearly every country. We have 10 facilities around the globe. So we're about 450 employees now. So it's good.
So you guys decided to go out and create a carbon calculator. What is that?
So in its basic form, we have a lot of our customers talking about net zero. It's a huge drive for them, and they can see the financial benefits of what we do for them, for the reuse and the resell and the recycling of their assets. We can generate a huge amount of revenue, and we talk a lot about sustainability and how they are actually helping the world by making these sustainable choices by reusing stuff rather than mining new raw materials and things. But we really wanted to quantify it. I don't think this is anywhere else really to this level. In doing that, it is basically a calculation that shows the emissions you would use if you bought brand new versus the emissions you use if you buy from TXO.
Oh, I see. So in other words, is it something we can actually access online? Can we go there and figure this out?
It is if you're a customer. If you have a login to a portal called iTrack, which gives all your financial information as well. So we put everything to do that custom is on that iTrack. It's a really, really good product. It shows everything that you've put on the market with us. So a lot of our partners actually we deinstall the equipment for them, and then we sell it on their behalf, or we can hold it for them as a part of an inventory management system. They can see all those parts by serial number, by part code, and you can also see the carbon saved for that particular product as well. So it's all there for them. They can download those reports, take them away with them.
So, and it sounds like this adds a new dimension to the calculus of buying something. That historically there was how much is this going to cost, and how much will it cost to own, and will it benefit productivity? You've added now another dimension to that.
Yeah, I hope so, because we want people to ask these questions. It wasn't that long ago that the OEMs didn't want their stuff to be reused or recycled, or perhaps not recycled, but certainly reused, because that was affecting their new product business. Whereas I think that the world has moved on from that. That is not how we can protect the future of our globe. We have to make sustainable choices, and I think this gives our customers and our partners a real indication of what they're actually doing in real time. And it's validated by the Carbon Trust, which is a world-renowned, respected organization in this field. So this isn't something that we've just pulled together ourselves. We've worked with them to develop this model that can be interrogated and validated, and our partners can trust the data that we're giving them.
Now, was this needed? Why did TXO feel that the industry needed it now?
We've been asked for it. Put it bluntly, our customers want it. They want to show their journey to net zero, and we could come up with some numbers as we have done for years, using Google and everything. But I thought, a really sophisticated model with the industry expert's name attached to it, the Carbon Trust, gives our partners the reassurance they need to be able to publish these figures to say, actually, we are driving down our carbon and this is how we're doing it. Rather than buying new, we're extending the life of our networks. Because this isn't just about buying one product from TXO and one part number. This is about using that piece of equipment to be able to extend the life of the whole network in some cases. It can make a massive difference. And also the recycling aspect, we're putting back into the market a huge amount of gold and silver and palladium and copper. And all that doesn't have to be mined from the earth. We're protecting those natural resources. And a really good example of that is our German company Techport. They actually take the copper out of the ground, tons and thousands of tons of it, just all coming up to be able to be reused.
So this is really interesting that the value of equipment going out of commission might really rest in the materials that are sitting or residing in that gear.
Absolutely. It's both, isn't it? It's both, because we have a world excellence centre for repair as well. And I always think it's better to be able to reuse something than to recycle it, because to reuse means, you're keeping that in existence for much longer, and you can always recycle it then at the end. So we're all about the reuse first. But if we can't do that, if there's no way that can be fixed, or if there's no there is no market for it anymore, then we can recycle it and we can get those raw materials and put that back into the market.
So what was the methodology that you used
For the carbon calculator?
Yes.
It really is as simple as, and I say it's simple because it's complicated in the background, but it's coming up with the newly manufactured emissions number for a product category. And that's the tricky bit, because that OEM is not going to give you that number unless you go and buy it brand new. So this is where we work with the Carbon Trust, so we could develop a model to get to that number. And then, of course, they did our TXO's footprint all around the world and come up with a product carbon factor for TXO's product, and it's just one minus the other.
Now, is that why you picked the Carbon Trust as a partner?
Absolutely. It could only be the Carbon Trust. They are the world-renowned experts in this field. They are, they do a huge amount of work for the government things. They are the experts. So if they say this is how you measure something, then that is how you measure it. They are the gold standard.
So, Julia, are OEMs also reporting similar carbon impact metrics?
I don't believe they are to the extent that we are. They'll be doing their own for the newly manufactured stuff, I'm sure. But ours is about saved emissions, showing people how their choices can make a difference.
So you are indeed getting a very different perspective by joining this process.
I believe so, yeah. And we're getting really good feedback from our customers all around the globe for this product. So I think it was very timely.
Julia, why don't you tell me a little bit about that? I love when we get to the actual real world. Has it impacted decision making?
Well, I'm being told by the customers that it does, yes, because it enables them to show their procurement departments that by going and deinstalling equipment, they can actually, and putting it back on the resale market, they can, enable people to save carbon by buying a piece of equipment that they couldn't get hold of anymore from us. And making sure that network life is extended, they can show, not only the financial benefits of that, but also the carbon saved. So I do believe it is making a difference, yes.
So, Julia, can you give me a sense of the type of savings that are possible with the calculator?
Sure. So there's from the carbon calculator, the Carbon Trust data, they're showing that for certain categories of printed circuit boards, the saving can be up to 93% compared to buying new. Yeah, so it's a huge saving.
93%. So that's astounding. In other words, you're saving that much for the earth, basically.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, it's huge, and it makes a difference, doesn't it?
Yeah, I mean, if a large organization is doing that on a big purchase or big set of purchases, that's a reportable impact.
Absolutely, and I expect it to. They'll be using these numbers in their annual reports. I'm sure. This data is really impactful.
And I imagine also large organizations such as government and NGOs and so on, same thing, and they would be then able to make the same type of claims.
Yeah, anybody. This is the same data for anybody who's using it.
Now, I understand TXO now has a little bit of a bigger footprint in North America.
We do, yeah. We've been in Maryland for years and sort of North America. We're also in South America, by the way. We're in Brazil, but we've recently acquired Airway Group, which is really exciting because that really cements our footprint, a much larger footprint in North America. They're a fantastic company, and we're already doing really well with them. Going to have some really big contracts in America, so we're really excited.
Julie, I really want to thank you for joining me today. This is really interesting. I hope we do a follow-up podcast and learn
Yeah, I'd
more.
love to.
Yeah, this is a fascinating topic, and I hope everybody checks this out. Where can people learn more and experience the calculator?
TXO.com.
TXO.com, everybody. Julia, thank you very much
please
indeed.
do come and see our website, and there's phone numbers and emails and stuff there that you can access us, get access to us.
Well, thanks for letting me podcast you. I'm looking forward to our next one. For now, thank you very much indeed.
Thanks so much, Doug. Thank you.